In 1888, the city of Buffalo donated a tract of land to a collective of Eastern European immigrants who wanted to establish a community center. Their dream was to create a place where they could gather and share their news from home, their neighborhood concerns and gossip, and their favored old world recipes. In time, this gathering place evolved into a marketplace serving all of western New York, where fresh meats and vegetables were readily available, alongside ethnic specialties produced by the predominantly Polish families running the market stands. Today, some 119 years later, while the actual structure housing the marketplace has changed and evolved a number of times, the location and the purpose has remained the same. That is a place for the western New York community to gather and enjoy food, family, and friendship, which is the tradition we have all come to treasure and respect as the Broadway Market. I've lived in other cities with indoor markets like ours, most notably St. Lawrence Market in Toronto. Such marketplaces are celebrated shopping venues as well as tourist destinations. As such, they are highly valued elements of their communities. However, in western New York, the Broadway Market is predominantly considered an Easter tradition, a time when thousands of people flock to its vendors in search of butter lambs, Polish sausage, pierogies, painted wooden eggs, and so much more. But then for the rest of the year, the market languishes, to the point that its survival is now a concern. So in the midst of this busy holiday season at the Broadway Market, I decided to take a stroll through its aisles and talk to people, vendors, merchants, neighborhood residents, shoppers, and ask them about their Broadway Market traditions and about their concern for the market's survival and how they think we can best preserve this valued community landmark. The first person I encountered on my stroll was, not surprisingly, Sister Janice. I say not surprisingly because Sister is one of the market's strongest supporters and a very powerful ally. She is the director of St. Aldebrot's Response to Love Community Center, located just blocks away from the market. She was also born and raised in this very neighborhood. Everyone knows and loves and respects the good sister, and her support of the Broadway Market is central to its continued success. I asked her why the market is so important to her.
Too. I think this is one of the most favorite times of the year because we get a chance to meet new friends, old friends, and just to really be a part of the Easter season. Many people remember the sisters from long ago in the church, and they just want to talk to us about it and ask about the different sisters and how the churches are going. So it's a special time for all of us.
While Sister Janice speaks from the heart about the market, she's also an astute businesswoman who regularly preaches the precepts of Broadway Market survival.
We can't just come here for the Easter season. We have to be here regularly. It has to come back with the spirit of saying, it's okay here on the east side. You know, nobody gets hurt. Everybody enjoys. Come support the vendors, but we need to come back. That's what it's all about.
As I made my way into the center of the marketplace, I saw a booth with a familiar but somewhat out of place face. It was Tom Kazmierzak, executive director of the Lancaster Opera House. Knowing that his theater work is centered 20 miles away from the East Side Broadway neighborhood, I questioned him about his connection to the market.
It was a tradition in our family to go to the market, shopping during Easter, but all year. And my family had a meat market stand. Winnegar Meats was here. And it's the best match for the Opera House. We do outreach here. We're doing special performances at the Opera House and at Broadway Market. We have three.
Really?
Yes, we have Dorothy walking around this Easter. We have Adam doing magic, and we're here with our booth promoting our shows.
As Tom and I talked about the Broadway Market's intrinsic value to the Western New York community, he explained about an outreach program he is undertaking through the Opera House.
We created the Arts in Action program to be at the inner city. We're at St. Stan's, we are at Corpus Christi, we're at St. Luke's Mission of Mercy, and now we're going to be at the Broadway Market.
As I left Tom, I paused and looked around at the colorful and taste-tempting stands and booths surrounding me. Which way to go? What direction to head first? Suddenly, I caught a glimpse of one of my favorite Broadway Market stands, Melanie's Sweets. And yes, it is all about some of the most delicious and decadent sweets any sugar junkie can imagine. I wove my way through the crowds to Melanie's stand and waited while she meted out rich, overfilled cannoli and intricately decorated lamb and egg cakes to the line of patient shoppers. Finally, she snuck outside her stand to chat with me for a few minutes. We immediately started talking about the fact that she has just recently returned to the market full-time.
I did leave the market in 2000, and I did come back at the holiday time, and each time I came, I just felt like I should never leave. This truly was my home. I've been here for 30 years, so I decided to come back and, as you said, keep my presence here and finish my final days at the Broadway Market. We have some wonderful, wonderful customers over here, and we're hoping to bring, and I felt that I brought something different to the market that the market did not have. Nobody per se did cakes, wedding cakes, or birthday cakes, and that's exactly what I wanted to do, and I feel more than welcome now that I'm here.
Melanie's husband works with her at the stand. He tells me that she loves the Broadway Market and wants to be buried there when she dies. Out of respect for her devotion, I ask Melanie what she believes will bring people back to the market at other times of year outside of Easter.
I think about that on a regular basis. I was very fortunate because I had a son who traveled all over the world, and I kind of followed him in different locations, so I seen how markets were set up in other cities, and even though a lot of the people say it's the area, I don't believe it's the area, because the Boston market was probably originated in the worst area in the city, and it is very, very successful, and I feel that the timing now is perfect with the renaissance that we're having downtown and our close proximity to all the residents that are moving in downtown. And hopefully that the city realizes this, and some of the politicians, and get us some free bus service or free trolley service, as I've seen in other cities. I really believe they need to develop the area. If we have housing downtown, there isn't any reason why they cannot develop the residential in the area and then slowly more of the retail. That's exactly what I've seen in Boston.
Listening to Melanie, I figure that she's a Broadway marketer from birth. Yet her answer surprises me.
Not till I was about 18 years old, and I started coming here, and I just had a forever love for the market. And I do remember mentioning it to my mom and dad, and they just couldn't understand what I felt, but I always felt a love for coming here.
Thank you for shopping Broadway Market. Hope to see you throughout the year.
Happy Easter, Vesoego, Alleluia.